Ever since I was very young, like around 4 years old, I've always been into writing and writing poems. When I feel like I have no one to talk to, it's kind of something that I do to get all my emotions out. I've just experienced a love for songwriting, and I've been doing it for so many years. My biggest dream ever since I was 5 years old has always been to be a mom. I would say that that's what I want most.
If you see by Maddie's reaction, don't be scared, but also be slightly scared.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Ella, and we are homeschoolers. We met through a homeschool community called Recess, where we found our love for learning and podcasting.
Come join us on a journey of self-directed learning as we dive into all the things about Recess on our
Recess Rundown Podcast.
And we will hopefully see you there. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Recess Rundown Podcast. Today we are joined by an incredible, talented young musician. She plays both piano and guitar and has a real gift for creating songs out of intense emotions. She's also a huge animal lover, a baker, and someone who genuinely cares for the people around her. Thank you for being with us today, Olivia.
Yes, thank you for having me on your guys' podcast.
Of course.
No problem. It's an honor.
Well, to start off with the questions, let's dive into the songs. How did you get into writing your own songs? And was there this moment where it just clicked and just felt right to you?
So ever since I was very young, around 4 years old, I've always been into writing and writing poems. And then I started listening to music, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to try writing songs for myself. And so then I started writing songs, and I have for a very long time. And it's just been something that I love to do to kind of, when I feel like I have no one to talk to, it's kind of something that I do to get all my emotions out. And I've just experienced a love for songwriting, and I've been doing it for so many years. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I loved how you mentioned, when you feel like you have no one to talk about. I think I've only recently started doing this, but I kind of also started turning things that I didn't really feel like I could talk to anyone about into poems. And, some of the songs and poems that you've posted on Recess really inspired me to do that. So I was wondering, did you have you ever taken any lessons with songwriting, or has this all kind of been a very self-directed journey for you?
No, I've never taken any lessons. It's just been something I figured out by myself. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and your songs are really good for someone who didn't take lessons. It shows how much emotion and it conveys a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you make these wonderful songs, but how do you get to finishing them? Like, what's the process when you start writing a song? Do you maybe write all the lyrics first, or the melody first, or does it all just click and happen all at the same time?
So I'll get ideas for lyrics at very random times. So sometimes I'll be half asleep and I'll get an idea for a song or lyrics, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so good. So then I get out this journal that I have and I write down all these lyrics. And then once I feel like I have enough for a song, I kind of put it together, and I'm like, okay, I want this to repeat, so I'll have this lyric be in the chorus. And then I just kind of figure out the verses and all of that. And then I put it together, and then I'll slowly start to come up with the background music to the song, and the instruments that I want for that song. So, yeah, that's kind of how I do it.
Nice. Um, how long have you been kind of taking, doing instruments and stuff like that? Because you play piano and guitar. And how do you kind of apply that to your songwriting?
So I've always kind of played piano a little bit, just recently started. Well, it's been like a year, and I've self taught myself. And I did that with guitar too. I've been doing that for a little bit longer. I think it's been like 2 years now. Um, and I'll kind of just sing my song after I come up with the like melody to the song, and then I'll kind of just find the right notes, um, and I'll decide if I want to play the piano or the guitar for that song, and then I'll just find the right notes and just play my song.
Nice. That's I've also in the last couple of weeks I've actually started learning guitar, trying to teach myself.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
really cool.
Thanks. So, kind of just been talking about your whole songwriting journey. Do you think your songwriting skills have improved over time?
Yes, I would definitely say they have. I started off writing poems, um, and then slowly I started getting into songwriting. And a couple of days ago, actually, I found this old binder that I have, or that I had, where I had written all of my songs in, and they were from when I was like 7 years old. And just reading them, like, it's really funny the way I used to write songs, and I'm like, wow, I really would say that I have improved in writing songs. So,
Nice. I feel like on the podcast we're always talking with artists. Like, do you look back at your old art? And since we kind of all cringe about our old art, but it's kind of fun hearing it from a different perspective. From a songwriter. I know I always look at my old art. I'm like, ugh, no. Or some of my old writing. Like, why did you do that?
Um, well, you usually write about romance in your songs. Um, how, where does this inspiration come from?
um, so ever since I was a little girl, I've always kind of loved the idea of romance. And, I always used to watch like the movies with like the romance and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till like I get to do that too, and all of that. And obviously, as I've become a teenager and gotten a little bit older, I've kind of experienced some of like the romance and heartbreak. Um, and I've had a lot of that. Obviously, I've had some really good people come into my life that are very kind and sweet to me. So that's how I write like the romance songs. And then I've also have had some people come into my life who are not so kind, and who end things not in a good way. And I would say that I write heartbreak songs more than actual like happy love songs, because I feel like I just have a deeper feeling of what heartbreak feels like, and writing songs about heartbreak is just a little bit easier, because I've experienced a little bit more of that, and so I just kind of know what it feels like, and so it's easier for me to write heartbreak songs. So yeah.
I understand that. Like I felt like going through heartbreak, I was a little bit more creative, I guess. Kind of Yeah, I had more ideas, and I think a lot of that it was all about, oh, I wanted to write about the heartbreak, and I just wanted to to say the word again, share how heartbreaking it felt.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but I think you put it really, really beautifully, especially at the start.
thank you.
You're the oldest out of four kids. What's your favorite part of having so many siblings?
Uh, I love having a big family. I think having a big family is so fun, even though it gets really chaotic at times. Um, it's just so fun having so many siblings that look up to me and that I can help. Um, and it's fun, like finding like different things that I have in common with them and talking to them about different things that they love. And um, I don't know. I would just say um, I love being the oldest sister of three amazing siblings.
That's cool. Yeah, I think as as another oldest sister, I can relate. I don't think I'd want to be in another place. It's kind of where I fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big families are also fun. Like I've got family spread all over the world. Just from my family, my immediate family moving so much, but just everyone. Um, and I think when family gets together, it's always so fun and very chaotic.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you enjoy horseback riding. How long have you been doing that? And what originally attracted you to it?
So I've been riding horses like since before I could walk. But I've been doing horseback riding lessons for about 4 years now. Um, and what kind of attracted me to it is I have an aunt and she loves horses and she's been riding horses her whole life. And she used to have a horse, and so when we would go and visit her, I would get to like ride her horse and help her take care of it and stuff. And I feel like just getting to experience that, like that made me just kind of gain a love for horses.
How do you take care of a horse and make sure that you're kind of riding it in a way that is kind of kind to the animal?
Um, well, I would say it depends on like the horse. Because some are more sensitive than others to riding. Um, but some of the things are if it's a trained horse, then if you're doing something wrong when you're riding it, it will start acting weird. So, like when it does that, you just stop and think about what you're doing. Also, make sure that like its hooves are well taken care of because that can play a big part in how it um, rides. And um, also, a big part too is if you're more into speed, you do a lot of like trotting and loping and obviously like running and galloping. And you really want to make sure you're riding it the right way for those. Like trot, you want to make sure you're sitting and not just bouncing, even though it can be really bouncy, because it hurts the horse's back. Um, and also for like loping and running and galloping and those things, it's best if you like rock your hips to the movement because if you don't, it will confuse the horse and it won't know what it's doing. Um, and for me personally, I know people like to use these things called spurs when they ride, and it's a thing that can help your horse get faster. For me, I don't believe in spurs um, because it's something sharp that you're kicking into the horse's side. And I just think I've seen a lot of people do it really like hard when they're doing like a speed, like something that involves speed. And at the end, like there will be like two missing spots of um, fur from them kicking the horse so hard. And I just really think that that's not wrong and it's not necessary. I think your legs are just fine um, to use. Also, some people will just kick and kick for fun. You want to be harsh when it's necessary. So like when you're trying to get your horse to do something, you just kick it slowly um, and very softly. Just make sure that you feel like your feet against their side. And if they're not doing something, then you kick a little bit harder. And then if they're still not doing something, a little bit harder and stuff. And they're used to stuff like that because when they're in the wild, like the two leaders of the group will like fight and bite each other. So nothing really hurts them, but you do want to make sure that um, you don't scare the horse. So yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. That was really cool to hear about. I honestly don't really know a lot about horses. As a kid, I was really interested in them. I took horseback riding for a while, but I was honestly like 6. And then I had one teacher who came in and told me that if I put my fingers anywhere near the horse's mouth, that they would bite them off. And I was like, nope, mom, I'm done. Take me home. I don't want to do this anymore. Um, I still like horses are great and I love them, but I never really got as into horses as I was before and then shifted to guinea pigs a little more.
Yeah, they can be scary at times for sure. You just want to make sure you learn like their signs before you kind of get super involved in horses, and then you'll be safe.
Yeah. I'm sure little Ella would have definitely appreciated that. um so you mentioned that you love being a good friend to others and that's a really special quality. What do you think makes someone truly a good friend?
um, I would say just being someone that the other person can talk to, being someone that they can trust and that they know won't judge them, because I feel like a lot of the time you will meet people and um they will seem like they're trustworthy, and then you'll open up to them and then they'll kind of show you that they're not so trustworthy, and they'll show, oh my gosh, sorry, they'll share that with like other people, like maybe some of their friends. And obviously some of the things that you tell people you don't want shared when it's not necessary to be shared. um and so I would say just honesty is a really important thing to being a good friend. um and obviously kindness, um because it's not good to have someone who's constantly being mean to you and bringing you down, because you might already have that and you don't need a friend doing that. So honestly, I would say the two most important thing are kindness and honesty.
Let's kind of move on to your school life. Do you homeschool? And tell us about your schooling journey so far. What have you done? What do you like? Stuff like that.
um I haven't been homeschooled always. I went to school um in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and then I got pulled out when I was like halfway in between third grade. Um when I was in school, our school was not the best. Me and my sister, we went to the same school, and they wouldn't even let us hug when we saw each other. Um, I also got bullied a lot throughout when I was in elementary school. Um, and so my mom was kind of just starting to get like a really uneasy feeling about it. And then also, she met someone, a friend who also homeschooled, and she started talking to them about homeschooling. And then she decided that she was going to pull me and my sister out. And then, like 6 months later, COVID happened. Um, and so, yeah, she started homeschooling us. And it was a really big journey to figure out what curriculums fit us the best and to kind of get used to the homeschool life, because it's quite a bit different than going to public school. Um, and so then we just kept homeschooling, and we just loved homeschooling so much because we loved that you had more freedom to like go on trips and stuff like that. And um, homeschooling for us, it takes me about 2 hours to do all of my school. And we just love that so much more than sitting at a desk for 6 hours. Um, and so, yeah, I've just been homeschooled for, I think, like 6 years, I think it's been. Um, and my mom, when I got a little bit older, she's like, if you want, when it's time, you can go to high school if you want. And so I will be a sophomore this year. And I've kind of thought about it a lot because I've always kind of wanted to go to school, like high school, because I've just heard about how fun high school is and all of the experiences you have in high school. And I also have struggled a lot with making friends. Um, I have not been able to make any friends here in Utah. Um, and I've lived here for almost 4 years. I can't make any in my ward. I can't make any in other places I go. Um, and I haven't had good luck. And so I've always thought, like, maybe if I went to high school, I would be able to make some friends. So I started taking one class from the high school, and I've tried to make some friends there, but then it turns out to not be so good. And then I've kind of just thought more about how big of a decision it is to go to public school and how big of a change it would be. I would lose my freedom and a bunch of stuff. And this year I found a bigger love in homeschooling, and I've also become more involved in recess stuff and recess classes that I love so much. And um I've just kind of decided I've had kind of not so good of a feeling about going to public school as of my sophomore year. Um because the chances of me making friends, I could make some friends, but also there's a chance that I wouldn't have good luck with that, and I would get bullied and all of that. Um, just like I did all throughout elementary school. And it's just not worth it. I would have to lose a bunch of the stuff that I love and lose my freedom. And I would rather hang out with family than have friends if it comes to that decision. Um, and I would rather make my memories with my family than like friends who probably won't be in my life when I'm like 20 years old and I've moved off by myself and all of that. I've just decided that I want to stick to homeschooling because I really do feel like it's the better decision for me, and I do love it so much. And so, yeah.
That was really interesting. Thanks for sharing. I am as a homeschooler who is, starting to do that homeschool high school thing. I think I can understand a lot of what you're talking about. And I think everything feels like it's kind of ramping up when you enter high school as a homeschooler. My mom's also always kind of given me the option, like, if you want to go to high school, feel free to try that out. But I agree with you that going to high school would mean losing a lot of freedom, right? And there could be projects that you're working on, and you're not going to be able to do that anymore. So kind of focusing on that, how do you think your songwriting would have evolved if you had, kind of stuck with the public school system? Do you think you would be where you are right now?
No, I don't think I would. I think school would take up so much of my time that I wouldn't have any time to really work on my songs. I also think um if I kind of opened up more about it and told people in my school, they would maybe try and bring me down, and so I would lose confidence. Because they would be like, "Oh, there's no way like that's gonna take off. Like, why are you doing that?" Because I've had stuff said to me like that in the past, and with high school teenagers, who knows what they can say? So, you know, um, I also think there is a chance that it could have also um, maybe helped me a little bit more because I would be more social and I would be more in the outside world, and I would maybe have some more things to write songs about. But I think in general, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now with songwriting if I was in public school.
Makes sense. When you're in school, it's like your normal activities. You wake up, I don't know, eat breakfast, go to school, come back to school, do your homework, eat dinner, go to bed. Basically it. So, yeah, I've thought about that as well. Like, if I were to go to school, there would be like no time for my interests.
We wouldn't be able to have the podcast. I think,
Yeah.
we would have to work around school time and primarily do stuff like this on the weekends, editing, script work, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, would it be about recess if we were at school? So,
Yeah. Well, going back to your writing, I am a writer, but a creative writer, and I get writer's block all the time. So I would think it would maybe be the same. Do you maybe ever get writer's block? And if so, how do you get out of that like strain?
Okay, so yeah, I do get writer's block a lot. Um, I get it for about a couple months. Um, and then usually I listen to like a really good song, and then it will kind of um, bring me out of writer's block. Or sometimes I have to have a certain experience that I can base a song um, off of. And so those are kind of the two ways that I'll get out of writer's block when I do have it.
yeah, I think writer's block is it's like a really universal experience for everyone who does any form of writing, songwriting, poems, novel writing, blogs. And I think everyone has a different process to kind of break that cycle of just not being able to write. So it's really interesting hearing yours. I also love that you mentioned, if you hear a really good song, I find that when I'm writing for my blog, if I put on some of my favorite songs, I tend to focus more and listen. So I don't know. I find it kind of cool to make that connection.
Yeah, thank you.
You have lots of interests and lots of hobbies, but what do you maybe want to pursue? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
So I've always loved the idea of being like a professional horseback rider or being a singer. Um, and if one of those things end up taking off, then, I would love that. But my biggest dream ever since I was like 5 years old has always been to be a mom. And I would say that that's what I want most. That's what I want to be the most when I grow up. Um, so yeah.
That's really nice. I think I think that's cool, and I think you could probably do both of those, or one of those while being a mom. Like, oh my gosh, my mom's a famous singer songwriter, or my mom's a professional horseback rider. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
So who are some of your biggest musical influences? Who do you listen to when you need a little bit of inspiration? Like when you're in writer's block.
I'll listen to my favorite artists, um, which are I have a couple. Um, I listen to Taylor Swift a lot. Um, I listen to Olivia Rodrigo a lot. Also, sometimes, um, if I need inspiration, I'll listen to Benson Moon because he has some really good songs. And so, if I need inspiration, I'll listen to like some of his songs. Um, Also, I love some Gracie Abrams songs, and so sometimes I'll listen to some of her songs to get some inspiration. But yeah, those are um, a couple of the artists that I listen to when I need inspiration.
Awesome. I think at time of recording, I think Olivia Rodrigo's just released a new song, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not like a huge fan, but I do sometimes enjoy her music, and I think her new song is really good.
yeah,
So do you want to play a game?
sure.
Okay, so this is just a would you rather. I'll give you two options, and you have to pick one instantly. Remember, there are no wrong answers, and we're gonna try and go as fast as possible. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, piano or guitar?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
piano.
Sorry. Okay, piano. Um, lyrics first or melody first?
Lyrics first.
Perform live or record in studio?
Perform live.
Nice. Write alone or collaborate?
Write alone.
Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo?
Taylor Swift.
Early morning writing session or late night writing session?
Late night writing session.
Night owl. Um, baking or music?
Oh wow.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Um, music.
Acoustic or electric?
Acoustic.
One huge hit or a whole album that you're proud of?
A whole album that I'm proud of.
Concert or cozy bedroom session?
Um, Concert.
Right. horses or baking?
Horses.
Awesome. Okay, so that was it for the game. And now we have another kind of would you rather type question, except this was from our last guest, Shaimir. If you see by Maddie's reaction, don't be scared, but also be slightly scared. um, would you rather eat a worm or lick a used, dirty boot?
It's so random.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Um, do I know where the boot has been?
Like mud.
And has it been worn by a family member or some random stranger?
No, it's like a random on the street boot, I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh my gosh. Um, probably. I would probably lick the boot.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree. Because you
Yeah.
have to like chew the worm, but like just lick. Just
It's so bad. I mean, a very interesting question, but really hard to answer.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with boot too. um, so if you were to create a question for us to ask the next guest on our show, what would it be?
What's your favorite? What do you love most about the interest that you have?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think we've had that one before. All right. Well, to our listeners, watch the next episode to find out what someone loves most about their interests.
Okay.
So it is the end of the episode, and thank you so much, Olivia, for being on the Recess Rundown podcast. It was really fun to get to know you, chat about music and horses and dirty boots. um, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on your guys' podcast. I had a ton of fun, and it was really fun talking with you guys.
yeah, of course. If you are a part of the Reese's community and would like to be on a show, please email us, Maddie and Ella at recessrundown@gmail.com, and you can maybe be on the podcast too.
Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.